Hello everyone, it's me, Switch2Leo, and today we will continue to rank every Mario Kart World track. If you didn't see part 1, go check it out right now. It was my first video on this channel, so it should be very easy to find. And please, since I just created this channel, it would be great if you would subscribe and hit the like button. But for now, let's get started. So, last time we left off the video looking like this: Dino Dino Jungle in B tier and my number 16th rating. Now, for number 15, I have Mario Circuit. Now, Mario Circuit is the classics of all classics. You can't get any classier than this. And it was the first Mario Kart track to ever be made, actually. If you go all the way back to Super Mario Kart, this will be the first track that will pop up. And I like this track because in this game, it includes all 3 Mario circuits. Mario Circuit 1, Mario Circuit 2, and Mario Circuit 3. So it's great for learning how to charge mini turbos and charge jumps, but I give it my number 15 because better tracks are yet to come. At my number 14, for my next B tier, I have Boo Cinema. I really love the detail and effort Nintendo put into making this track, and I love when you enter the cinema screen. That bit just makes it the highlight of this track. But there aren't many shortcuts, which is why I give it a number 14. Now, I do know that lots of famous Mario Kart World players, I won't name them, but lots of famous ones, they will put this way higher, maybe number 5 or maybe 7, because this track is really good, but I don't like it, and because there's not a lot of shortcuts, and I like shortcuts. Now, for number 13, our next B tier, I have Faraway Oasis. Now this is one of my best tracks in the game, maybe the best track in the game, and I really love that it has all the animals just walking around, and it looks like you're driving through an African safari. But it doesn't mean this is my favorite track in the game. Most of the track is driving in water, and if you watched the other video before this one, you would have learned that I do not like driving in water. It's slow and boring and just not fun. But there are a decent amount of shortcuts in this one. Ones that include you to do charge jumps, use a mushroom, ride rails, and they're all very cool, which is why I give it my number 13. Okay, so for my number 12, I have Wario's Shipyard. And yes, I know what you're thinking. Didn't you just say with Faraway Oasis that you didn't like driving on water, and this track is like 65% water? Yes, I did say that. But this is the best track with water that you can play on. I love that there are so many waves, and it just gives it that spooky, scary, splashy vibe, and you can get trick boosts on them, and I like going fast. And at the beginning there's a huge charge jump shortcut, and there are lots of hard shortcuts that I haven't managed to master all of them. And that's what makes me want to try to play this track even more, and that's why I love Wario's Shipyard. Although, yes, it still has water, which is why I give it my number 12 rating, but there are so many cool shortcuts, and that's what makes this track so cool. Now, at number 11, I have Dry Bones Burnout. We're getting very close to my top 10, and now this is a very cool track in terms of its design, and that's what gives it the most points. It's one of the tracks with the most detail in it. Although, in the other video, I did say one track that had the most detail in it. And this one is very close to that one. Go check that video out if you want to find out. And I just love that there's a huge, some sort of dry bone skeleton in the lava laying there. That you have to go through it or go through its spine. And that just gives it that spooky lava volcano vibe. And that's what I like about this track, and it's a very enjoyable one to play. However, now we are getting into my top 10 tracks of all time in Mario Kart World, so let's get straight into it. At number 10, we have Shy Guy Bazaar. Now, this is our first A tier track, and this is like a really good track. It's just not as good enough as the ones in S tier, which you'll figure out very soon. And I like this track because it's one of the most unique tracks in the whole game. There are a bunch of rail riding opportunities, lots of super cool shortcuts that are easy to master, and I've mastered them. And, you should try to master them as well. And it's a great game, it's a great track for waking up your thumbs when playing, because you constantly need to be tricking off wet rails, going on walls, getting item boxes, dodging items, and that's what I like about this track, because it's very chaotic. Now, for my number 9, I have DK Pass. Now this one is a very interesting track, and I think it's the best track in the snow area of the Mario Kart World map. And I like this track because there's so many cool shortcuts, so many hard shortcuts, like for example one very close to the beginning, where you need to charge jump up a wall and trick off and land on top of the wall. Yeah, I still haven't managed to master that one, not even once. But I'm gonna keep trying. And the soundtrack is very pleasing. I love the soundtrack in this track. And there's one shortcut that I still haven't mastered, which is the one that I just told you. And that's just that just makes me want to play the track even more. And that's why I love DK Pass, and it's worthy of being in my top 9. So, for my number 8 actually, I have Crown City, and it's our next A-tier track. For most of the Mario Kart World players out there, this was probably the second track for you to play. It feels so good to be driving around in the city where there are Toads and Yoshis walking all around you. It just feels so heartwarming. It feels like I'm driving through my own city. And a huge coincidence is, this was the second track to have a glitch world record. And Mario Bros. Circuit was the first track to have a glitch world record. And also, Mario Bros. Circuit was probably the first track you ever played in Mario Kart World. And Crown City was the second track that you most probably played in Mario Kart World. So, Mario Kart World, first track you played, first glitch world record. And then Crown City, second track you played, second glitch world record. I don't know. Will Whistle-Top Summit get a glitch world record now? Hope Nintendo fixes this issue. And now, for my number 7, I have Salty Salty Speedway. And now, you might be thinking, didn't you say that Wario Shipyard was the best track with water that you can play? Well, there is one way that you can play this track, Salty Salty Speedway, without touching the water. Seriously, search it up. Salty Salty Speedway without touching the water world record. It's a thing, but it's not easy, so don't even try and beat it. And that's crazy, because most of the track is with water, but there is a way that you can do it without touching the water, and I do want to learn though. Now, for my number 6, I have DK Spaceport. And I love this track. When I saw it in the trailer, this was the track that I was most excited about. I saw that, I was like, oh my goodness, that was like the first Donkey Kong level ever, and now they turned it into a Mario Kart World track. And when I was watching the Nintendo Treehouse and I saw the DK robot jumping up the different laps, I was just so excited to play this, and I could not wait. And that's why I give this at my number 6, but it's not higher up, because there are not many cool shortcuts. They're kind of all basic, but the biggest reason why I give it at my number 6 is because of how hyped I was for it. And I love this track, and that's why I give it my number 6. Now we are entering my top 5 favorite Mario Kart World tracks, so let's get straight into it. At number 5, I have Whistle Stop Summit, and this is a fantastic Mario Kart World track. It's great to play, and the shortcuts that you can take while rail grinding feel amazing and are so satisfying and awesome to do. You should look at the world records for this track. It looks so satisfying. And there are charge jumps, there are rail grindings, you need mushrooms. It's all in this track, which is why I love it so much. And this is, for my opinion, for most people, this would definitely be a top 10 track. But for me, this is definitely a top 5. Okay, now, Airship Fortress. This is one of the best tracks in Mario Kart World, and all the shortcuts are so pleasing to pull off, just like in the last one, Whistle Stop Summit. Seriously, but you should try and beat the world record for this track. It is very hard, and I'm never gonna get it, and I never plan to get it. But at the same time, while you're trying to get it, it's so fun. This track, most of the shortcuts involve rail grinding, and honestly, I don't really mind, because I love rail grinding. You charge up mini turbos, except it's on a rail, and you trick from one rail to another, and I just love it. Now, for my number 3, I have Great Question Block Ruins. When I first saw this track, I thought, hey, maybe if you unlock all the question mark panels in every single course, something would happen to the big question block. Unfortunately, it did not happen, but who knows? Maybe Nintendo will do something in the future. I doubt. And I love riding the rails in this track. I love doing all the shortcuts, the sharp turns, and unlike some other tracks, like Sky High Sunday, this is not just one loop. It's in the shape of a loop, but there are multiple turns, which is why I love this track. And one of the shortcuts near the end involves you doing a charge jump or rail grind into a wall and then tricking off a hoop, and then landing back on the track, and then cutting across the grass with mushroom. And it does take practice to learn, but I love it. And you know the saying, practice makes perfect. For my number 2 most favorite track in Mario Kart World, I have Wario Stadium. Now, for doing tricks, this is my favorite track by far. Nothing beats it. And there's so many rail grinding opportunities, and gap jumps, and jumps in general, and tricks to master. And they're great shortcuts, and for many people, this would definitely be a number 1 track. And by the way, if you look at the world record for this track, the shortcuts, they're like the coolest ones in the whole game. And that's why I give this my number 2. But for me, there's one track that tops it all. Bowser's Castle. Now, when I put Wario Stadium up as number 2, you would probably already know that my number 1 would be Bowser's Castle, because that's the only one left. And, well, obviously, you are correct. Bowser's Castle is my number 1 track, and maybe yours, for multiple reasons. First of all, you start the lap with the most efficient shortcut in the whole game. You immediately start after you jump off, do the tricks at the beginning. You start a charge jump onto the wall, onto the rail, onto another wall, trick off another wall, trick off a sign, do a bunch of left tricks, and land back on the track. And you skip a whole turn. And I love that. Then you get into a glider, a super glider actually, that makes you go super fast, and you glide all the way to the top of the castle, where you can see a bunch of the map. And I just love that view. If you go to free roam, it's so beautiful and amazing to look at. And then what's even more crazier is that there are more shortcuts that you can do, harder than the first one, that you need to jump and trick off the edge of the track, and then you land, you wall ride on the side of the track, do a super big jump, wall jump all the way into another part of the track, and it doesn't count you out of bounds, which is what I really like. And in the world record, they do even more of the same thing in other turns, which is what I just love about this track. There's so many crazy shortcuts, so many hard shortcuts, so many glider sections, and I just love this track. And that's why I give this track my number 1 Mario Kart World track. And it would definitely beat this number 1 track for a bunch of fans. Hope you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to subscribe to get more videos from me. And remember, check out part 1 if you haven't watched it yet. I'm Switch Tulio, and goodbye.